Hey, Rodney, man. So obviously, first few days of fall camp going through for you guys now and kind of getting into that groove of the season. How does it feel to be back, and how do you feel like your off-season went preparing you for this upcoming year so far?
It feels good. In the off-season, I was just working on being aggressive. Really, my technique, speed, and just going out there and just playing my game. But coming on the field, I feel way more comfortable. I already know the plays, and the game's just easier to me now.
It looks like you guys have had a really competitive start to camp. You've matched up with a lot of different types of receivers on the opposite end, including newer guy Jaron Hamilton and all that kind of stuff. What do you make of that matchup between you and him and you guys so far, kind of making each other better early in camp?
Early in camp in the spring, I always went against Turbo. So, that was my main competition. We always was going at it. He would win, I would win. But now it's like, Javen's back, so, I ain't gonna really go against Turbo like that. So going against Harry, JT, and Malik, it's good to get different releases from them and just going up from there.
What are the biggest things for you coming into this year? There's a lot of talk about you in the spring and really improving as an individual and as a player on the field and potentially getting some time this year. What's the biggest goals you have for yourself going into the fall is getting time on the field and that kind of stuff?
Just knowing my plays for real, knowing what I'm doing out there, communicating with people. Newer guys that are in with us, letting them know what they're doing and just being an athlete.
How excited are you to head up to Camp T in a couple of days and get back up to pacing?
Pretty excited. Last year, I was new to it. Pads, it was a little funky in there, but we're gonna make some changes this year. We're gonna make some changes.
What changes are coming this year that's different from last year?
Everybody gotta clean that room, man. I don't like sleeping and smelling. I don't do that. I gotta sleep good.
Anything else funny about going up to Camp T besides the interesting bunk arrangements?
It's so funny, so I can't think on top of my head, but I'm glad we ain't climbing the mountain, because coming down, I ain't gonna lie, it was funny. People had I can't even say it was funny.
Coach mentioned some parts of that too, with you guys doing the hike and then having the time capsule portion of it, being able to write a note to yourself and see it the next year and all that kind of stuff. Do you remember kind of what you put in your note, and if you do you feel like you kind of accomplished the goal you set out for yourself?
I don't think I remember, but I for sure accomplished some goals on it for sure. But yeah.
How do you feel that you've grown? Obviously, watching film with guys, like Keith and Jay, and experience, they're coming back. Now you're, like you said, more comfortable in coach Ward's defense. But working with Keith and Jay, how's that helped you grow?
It helped me a lot. Just seeing from last year, just getting mental rest, watching them, seeing how aggressive they play, knowing their attention to detail. So this year, I'm just doing the same thing they were doing, just getting better from there.
What's the? You look at. Obviously, you're junior job. When you look at what the linebackers, how they grew last year, and even the D line and everything like that. I know you're doing your job, but sometimes you're dropping back and you see something up front, and you're just kind of like, damn, that was pretty badass.
Yeah, everybody, we growing as a team. We all know each other. We all comfortable. So coming into this year, we just we know what we're supposed to do. Everybody just coming together.
And then speaking of Camp T, are you one of maybe a defensive teammate that if Clayton said, "Hey man, you want to go catch some snakes on snakes? I'll help you out." Are you going with him?
Nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't even going out there.
Rodney, for you, having the competitive nature of the environment in this defensive back room now, with a couple of guys coming in as well, what does it mean to be part of a room that is hyper competitive with a lot of different really talented players?
In our cornerback room?
Yeah, it's in the quarterback room.
Yes, very competitive. We got different heights, different skilled people. A lot of people. Dave and K1 got good technique. You got me just being a quick athlete. Just a lot of. It's very competitive out there.
How do you kind of balancing those different skill sets as well, and being able to know hey, maybe I do this well, but I got teammates I can learn on that do other things that are also having other teammates that do things. You mentioned guys being some good footwork players or doing other things well from you. How's that kind of balance for you, and how do you having that kind of ebb and flow with people?
I was always quick when I was little, so I try to just work on being more aggressive, getting stronger and stuff like that, and just really really getting stronger for it.
Seems like you added some weight the off season too. How many pounds did you add on this year?
I think when I was a freshman, I was 169. Now I'm 187.
So good, almost 20 pounds in a year. So for you, how has that dieting been for you? I'm sure a lot of that's kind of just what you're eating and putting in your body.
I'm glad I gained a lot of weight. Last year when going into press, I wasn't able to really press for real. I was just always getting shoved around, but now I can control it. I'm out there being physical and just on top of routes.
And can go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, is there the number switch to 0?
Yeah,
Why is
0.
that?
I was coming up with a name. I but I haven't found it yet. But it's when I find it, I'm gonna come to y'all and let y'all know.
Is there like a story behind the numbers? Just like
Yeah,
your
it's gonna be
favorite
a story
number?
behind it for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Because at first I was number 1. I always been number 1, but gotta be the beginning of 0. So I'm gonna find a story to it.
So kind of like a restart, going back to start from the beginning.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What was the reason you think for one to have that kind of restart going into this year in particular and going back to that 0?
Wait, saying like, what you say?
So like you making that change to 0 and then having that kind of like mental restart of like, hey, I'm resetting this number, going back to 0 before I'm always number 1.
Mentality, man. Like just knowing I got a single digit number just makes me more confident, makes me just go out there and play. Like I know what I'm doing, just making me a dog.
You think a lot of other guys have that same kind of mentality too? The number really means a lot
for
to where
sure.
they play.
The number for sure changes. Like it just makes you, for sure changes you.